and Al. It is, whoa, what is that? I don't know what that noise is, but it is, did you guys hear that? It is Sunday, April 24th, 2022. Here with your live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Of course, our best bet's always over in the premium area. We got a lot of cappers. This is, I think, the most I've ever seen on any website, and I've been on other websites before, but I was looking at this morning, and this is the most cappers I've ever seen that are plus money for the last week. When you look at the leaderboard at PickDawgz, it is crazy. Well, it's not crazy. I mean, it's really cool, and it's just one of those things that you don't see all that often at these websites, because basically everyone has different styles, and that's kind of the way it's supposed to work. But when you look at the leaderboards at the hottest cappers at PickDawgz, it's I'm going to show you guys. That's what I'm going to do. But you can see it here. Here's the last 24 hours. Here's everyone that won yesterday. And then, let's see if I can get this to move. And then, so here's everyone that won yesterday. And then you look at the last week, and look at this. Straight money. That's craziness. Look at the last month. It has been a killer last month. So start to baseball season, start to the NBA playoffs at PickDawgz and sportschatplace.com when it comes to our premium picks. I mean, just absolutely off the chain. But go back to our guests here. But Brian, good morning. Al, have you guys, I mean, Brian, you've been in the business a long time. Have you ever seen a leaderboard like that where it's just, I mean, I would say 90% of our cappers are up this week.
Yeah, and I think James Clark is probably where you want to be at the NBA. He had another 2-1 NBA playoff day. So, if you're looking for a playoff handicapper, I think James Clark might be the way to go. He's been crazy hot. If memory serves me correct, I think he's 17-4 last 21 in the NBA. I'd have to go back and actually double check that, but he's been pretty red hot for sure.
19-6 overall over the past week for James Clark, up 1,240 units. In a week. That's better than a unit a day. Big Al up almost up over 900 units, up hitting 68% winners this week, 19-9. Razor Ray at 70%, and then Al Ninos at almost 60%, up over 5.5 units for the week. So and the list goes on and on and on.
I know what hurt me this week. It was Friday. The 0-4.
Yeah, I heard that audio thing too. It was like, it sounded like a wind up toy, like unwinding or something. Right? I don't know what that was, but
I couldn't hear it.
Yep. Could be Al Ninos and his wind up toy collection over there. I have one wind up toy from when I was a kid, and I don't even have it on my set. It's Mickey.
They had wind-up toys when you were a kid? I thought you played with rocks.
Well, we did that too. Okay. I don't, the neighborhood that I come from, that's what we could afford were rocks. We would draw on them, and this would be our secret club membership. Would be the rock, and it had like a symbol on it. That was seriously, dead serious. I mean, that was about the type of neighborhood that we came from, and but it's how it works. But anyways, we've got a full card of games today. We had some good games in the NBA. We had I think the most surprising thing was that Nets Celtics. See, there's that noise. So the surprising thing was the Nets Celtics game, and there it is again. So whatever that was when you guys did that, that's where the noise is coming from. But
what sound you said it's making?
It sounds like a wind-up toy. Like zzz, there it is right there.
Well, I was muted, so it wasn't me.
Oh, it's Al. He's got something clicking. Sounds like something clicking. I don't know what it is. But anyways, we'll go over all of today's card. I think because normally a bunch of cappers show up for this show, and it looks like some of the guys are running late here. Jovan is here now as well. We're going to add him in. There we go. And, I was going to start with baseball, but maybe now that Jovan's here, we could start with NBA like we normally do and just get right into it. We got 4 NBA games. I like these 4-game playoff cards. I know that, we're at the time of the NBA season. So, confession here. I thought I was done doing NBA parlays on our regular videos because the regular season ended and I just didn't have a lot of material to work with. And then I figured, well, there's 3 games, I'll squeeze out some kind of parlay. And I could do a player prop. I could do, first half, first quarter, because we have the betting tools, right? So have all this information. So I've been kind of, these aren't typical bets that I've been putting out on these NBA parlays, but I just want to put something out there. I just like doing them. So it's really what it is. I got Ron's rundown now. I got competition. The
he is the superstar.
The kid is a star. The set of stones on that kid. Anyways, go to the NBA and Jovan. They got to be just delirious in Boston after that game yesterday. I mean, that was domination from start to finish. And I thought, while, the Nets simply could not stop the Celtics from scoring late in that game. It was the defense, that just absolutely flustered the Nets. I mean, 20-plus turnovers in that game in a must-win game. And they're just turning the ball over. Kevin Durant, I think he had less than 20 points, right? I mean, we talked about that prop yesterday, how he was under 29.5, 70% of the time, and he was paying even money. The player prop tools, man, just nailed it yesterday. The example I gave out in the newsletter, the James Harden under 6.5 assists, paid plus 110, and it hit 70% of the time, and it paid plus 110. It was like they were giving away money at 5 rebounds. The total was 6.5. It was like paid plus 110, and the betting tool shows it comes in 70% of the time. It's like, that's how you find the value. I need to do more betting tool shows where I just show everybody, this is how these work. It's this easy. Anyways, Bucks and the Bulls. I didn't let Jovan talk. I just talked right over him. I talked for him.
Yeah, so
my thoughts on Jovan's thoughts.
yeah, so I mean, as far as that game, basically the Nets can't play defense and they don't play team ball. 2 cornerstones of playing basketball, winning basketball at least, winning playoff basketball. And the Celtics, that's what they've done since January 1st. They played winning basketball based on first their defense and second trusting each other on the court. And it has shown in the series time and time again. So is getting those steals are no accident. Trusting in your fellow players is no accident. And you can't play iso ball and win in the NBA, not at a high level. So for the most part.
Well, I mean, I called the Celtics soft, and some people saying they're far from soft here, but I think we're going to see how soft and how tough they are when they play some of these other teams. I think the Nets just look disjointed. I think this is part of the problem with teams where the players don't really play together all season long, and then they try and throw it together at the end, like the Lakers have tried to do the last 2 seasons. It doesn't work because it is a team sport. I understand there's only one ball. And, football is the only true team sport where everybody has to be doing the same, the move at the same time for it all to work. But in the NBA, especially on the defensive side, everyone really does have to be working there. And even though there is one ball, there is that team chemistry. In basketball, it's the passing and that kind of that being in sync and everything that makes the difference. Well, in football, it's like, one tackle's blocking this way, the guard's blocking this way, the wide receiver's blocking this way, this guy's blocking this. The handoff has to be executed to the running back. All 11 guys have to, have a role on every single play. In the NBA, a little less, but still, man, got to give hats off. We don't crown champions in April, that's for sure. You see Celtics future champs in here. I think they certainly have a possibility because they're going to advance, but You tell that to the Heat and the Bucks. That, you know, I think they equally have as much claim to say the same thing here. The Nets are done. We already know that. I don't think anyone disputes that. Just like, you know, I would say, you know, the Nuggets are done. Win or lose today, they're done, right? I mean, they're down 3-0. They're done. You know, if you go down 3-0 in an NBA series, you are done. You know, you might win one here, you might hold off the sweep or something like that, but you lose, you're done. It's really not done that way. But anyways, let's go to this one. We go to the United Center, where they know a thing or two about winning championships. Chicago Bulls taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bulls were absolutely blitzed in Game 3. We saw in the YouTube comments, you know, the typical YouTube comment of our commenters, which they think that, like, our betting tools don't cover injuries or something, or, like, odds makers don't know that guys are injured. Like, if Chris Middleton's out, right, and it's announced, like, well before the game starts, they seem to think that the odds makers don't know this and consider this into the lines before the game starts. I mean, I never understood these type of comments. But so be it. You know who taught me about that at the very beginning, Brian? You know who's the one that really explained this all out to me, like a long time ago? Rob Vincelletti.
Oh, okay.
You know Rob? Long time ago. I mean, I'm talking about 2006. I talked to him, and he's like, I'm like, yeah, but this guy's injured, and I'm like, it affects the matchups and whatever. And he goes, you think the guys making the lines don't know that? He's like, these guys know before you do, long before. And I was just like, and I'd known this, and he's just like, I don't know, for some reason that time it really sunk in for me. And ever since then, I've been good with it. But in this one, the Chicago Bulls getting 4.5 points here at home. The line moving up from 4 to 4.5. But the Bulls looked really good in the first 2 games. Maybe the Bucks match up better without Middleton. I'm not really sure. Jovan, what do you think of this one? The house that Jordan built.
Yeah, I just think Game 3 was just one of those games where, when you lose a player right after, like the game after, or maybe in game, you get a boost. So I think that's what it was. They played tough on the defensive end, and I think with this particular spread, I don't know. I'm looking for a 1-possession game in this one. Chicago has the talent. As far as like in the paint, it's a little bit left to be desired. But I think we get a better shooting performance out of DeRozan, out of Zach LaVine. And I think it's a 1-possession game with that, with a minute left. After that, it's anyone's call, but I would lean towards the Bulls in this one, just to have some fight, at the lane. Basically, I'm not gonna say lay down, but they got boat raced. So I think in Game 4, they come back and at least gonna cover the spread.
How about you, Al?
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that the injury and the lines and all that stuff again. Yeah, of course they know, but there's only so much I think they can adjust the lines once the player's out, and then you have to weigh in whether they've adjusted enough, depending on who it is and what the game is and all that, and the line, obviously, especially to me, if it goes through certain numbers, it's more valuable than others. So I think so. There's all that to consider when you're making your bet, but
how about the end game yesterday when Noah Syndergaard got knocked out? What do you think of that one?
Always good. Yeah, if you're betting, that's the type of thing you're looking for. If you're betting, obviously it's either a huge run or a sub or an injury. That's always gives you a great opportunity to bet live, obviously. But in this one here today, pregame, I like the Bucks -2 with the injury, but at 4.5 on the road, it's getting a bit trickier, and I think I have to agree and maybe take the points in this one.
Brian?
I'm going to agree with both Al and Jovan here. I just think the Bulls got smacked in the punched in the mouth, lost by 30 points on their home floor. I think their manhood's on the line tonight. You're getting 4.5. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit in the Chicago Bulls money line because if they can pull this one out to even up the series and, at 4.5, I think it's good value here. I wish I would have put it in as a premium. I like Chicago Bulls plus the points.
I'm looking at this one, and I know the last time we all agreed on a pick was the Pittsburgh Pirates yesterday. So I'm definitely treading lightly. Here, but and I even said it when we all agreed on the Pirates. I was like, we might be in trouble here. I couldn't believe they scored the garbage touchdown on them there at the end too. It's like they rubbed it in their face in it. It's like 14-0. Yeah, it's like, man, even Parcells would have taken a knee there. Anyways,
look like the Chicago Bears out there, 85.
It was ridiculous. But it counts the same if you bet money line. It counts the same as 1-0. So it really doesn't matter, and it's just one game. But anyways, back to this one. I think if you're going to take the Bulls on the money line, I think that you got to figure that they're going to win by at least 1 or 2 points. So I would go even for more value there. This is where you can really find the value is on bets like this, because instead of getting, just plus 165, you start to look at some of these reverse lines, right? And this is where the books start to give it away as to where they feel they're vulnerable. So if you go to the Bulls minus 1.5, you know how much money you're getting in addition to the money line by laying an additional 1.5 points there? $8. It goes only to plus 173. So the books, they feel super vulnerable here on the Bulls bouncing back, because they're not even trying to get you to bet that. It's like they're good on the money line. It's like they do not want action there. But then when you go to 2.5, now you're getting into 2-1 on your money. You go to 3, and that's the most they'll let you lay, and it's plus 223. So it's not like gigantic odds there, and 3 is not a good number, right? 3 is a horrible number because now you're on an even number, and only Al Nino likes that sort of stuff. But you get 2.5, at plus 201. There's not even a ton of value there. The value bet is the money line. $35, like if you're buying points, right? The way you have to look at it is kind of the reverse of buying points. And I know I have like a weird logic. I get it. Not everyone agrees with me on these things, and not everybody understands the way that I look at it. But you almost have to think of it as buying points, and what would it cost you to get there to buy points? And when the books are not willing to give you the payouts there on selling them points, well, they don't want you selling them points. So it's like the value there to have to lay an additional 3 and only get plus 223 versus 165. You're not even getting a full unit by laying 3 points on top of an outright money line win, and the line's only 4.5. The play is the money line on the Bulls, at least for me. If it and we all agree, so basically it means take the Cubs. Anyways, got the Nuggets against the Warriors. This one, another interesting one here. I would say the Nuggets are done this series, and I would say that this is the one that just goes to show you that unless you're Moses Malone, a one-man team cannot beat a team of guys that have the ability to carry the team on their back. The Warriors have more than one player that have the ability to carry this team on their back, while the Nuggets only have one. And they have, so you always need to have more than one superstar. Before it was 2, and now it's 3. Ever since the Miami Heat did the Dwayne Wade, Bosh, LeBron thing, it's been 3. But before that, it was always 2. But the Nuggets only have 1, and that's why they're in problems here. The other guys that they kind of thought were going to be those guys, Murray and Porter, well, they're nowhere to be seen. So that's the issue here. This one is a sweep on my end. I like the Warriors here. I think they sweep them right out the door. And take nothing away from the Joker. If I'm him, I demand a trade from this thing. Get the hell out of there, because you're not going
but they'll
anywhere.
get those 2 guys back, Michael Porter and
Murray. Well, here's the problem. Porter might not really be any good anyway, and Murray, He was good during that playoff run, but even before he got injured, he was not playing that well. So, you have to figure out what you have there in the meantime. But the Nuggets need another guy. They need another player. Is what they need. And if they don't, then they should get rid of the Joker and start over again. It's like you got to go one way or the other because this guy can't do it by himself. And now you're a playoff team because he can do it against the bad teams by himself. The only guy who could do it by himself is Moses Malone. He's the only guy I've ever seen do it by himself. He's the only guy. I've never seen anybody else just say, that's it. I'm going to carry the entire team on my back. Even more so than Michael Jordan ever could or any of those guys. Moses was ridiculous. He did it twice. He got the Rockets to the NBA Finals by himself. You couldn't name one other guy on that team. And then the Sixers, he got to the title. And then, he got the MVP in that one, right, Brian?
I believe so, but he was playing Dr. J.
Yeah, but Dr. J was at the end of his career. Yeah. And at the end of the series, they kind of fed Dr. J he had a breakaway. They threw it out to him for the dunk to end the series. But it was...
And Maurice Cheeks at point guard, he wasn't too bad.
Moses Malone, I think, was the MVP of the league that year. Moses got the Houston Rockets, a bad Rockets team, to the finals. Moses Malone, I think, is probably one of the most underrated guys at this point. During his day, he wasn't underrated, but now he's not a guy that's discussed in that Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan discussion, but he belongs there.
Yep.
Anyways, Brian, speaking of Moses Malone, Nuggets Warriors.
You guys might call me crazy here. I think the Warriors win this game, but I think the Nuggets cover. I think we see a similar game to the Toronto Raptors Sixers yesterday. Only I don't think Nuggets are going to win this game. I think it's a one-possession game. Denver's never an easy place to play. Just too much love here for Golden State. I think if you can wait till tip and get the 4.5, that's where I would take it at.
Al Ninos, what do you think?
Over. I think the Warriors have been shooting the ball extremely well, and I think all 3 games this series have gone over, correct? Yep. So I like that trend to keep up.
Jovan?
Yeah, and that's the reason why I'm taking the under in this one. All 3 games have gone over, but we've just seen lights out shooting, and that can't last forever. I think that the Nuggets find a little bit more juice on the defensive end, even though they're not a good defensive team. And I think the referees might have something to do with that. They might call the game a certain way, let it be more physical. Haven't really seen that in this series like that. So I think there's a little shift in that regard. So I'm going to take the under. It's 224.5 right now. Last game went to 231. I think a couple, 3-4 possessions, could go the other way to make this an under game. Slightly, just slightly below the total. So
we got a few comments here about Allen Iverson taking his team on his back. LeBron, the first time he got there with Cleveland, I would agree with that. But
Dirk
did it with Dallas all the way, but Moses did it twice. I don't know. Wasn't Moses the first guy to go right from high school to the NBA? I think he was the first guy.
He was one of them. Nate Thurgood. What was his name? Nate
Thurman?
Forget his name.
Thurman.
No. Forget his name. They built him as the one that went straight from, I think, high school to the pros. I'm not sure. It might have been Moses, though. I think it was whoever it was. It might have been 1976.
Moses Malone. He went to the ABA. So it would have so yours, I think, is the NBA. The first guy was Daryl Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder, and Bill Willoughby, Then after that, there was a 20-year break where you couldn't do it, and that's when Kevin Garnett, and then Kobe.
Then the floodgates opened up.
Yeah, Kobe, Jermaine O'Neal, Tracy McGrady, Al Harrington, Corleone Young. Remember him? I remember him. He was supposed to be like the greatest, whatever. I'll take Kobe, over those guys, and Garnett. Daryl Dawkins, though, is pretty damn good. I like the Warriors in this one. Like I said, I don't see it. And, in the comments, someone said Jamal Murray is a superstar. No, he isn't. He had one good postseason. That's really it for his career. That's all he had was that postseason in the bubble. Kwame Brown. Oof. Yep. Yeah, there's been some bad ones.
I think that was Michael Jordan's pick, Kwame Brown, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Was he the GM or something?
I used to know like the old GM from the Nets. And back in the day he would like be like, yeah, my people came to me, they're like, you gotta have 2 superstars on this team. He's like, and then he's like telling me we only got 1, and I'm like, who? I don't even know who our 1 is, Derek Coleman was their 1. He was like, Derek Coleman had it like wanted it built into his contract that he didn't have to go to practice. It's like ridiculous, man. Murray is a superstar. I don't even think he's a star. He had one good series, man. He had he had a good month. That's all he's really had. I think at Kentucky he was good, but I don't think he's a star. I don't know. It's kind of like saying Bryce Harper is good. It's like his team got rid of him and won the World Series. I don't know. You tell me. It's like we got rid of you. We won the World Series.
Oh, he is good. He's won 2 MVPs. And Jamal Murray actually.
He's won the participation trophy. He's won the most popular. That's what he's won. He has not been the most valuable player because his team got rid of him and won the World Series.
Because of the payroll, because they're going to have to pay him too much.
No, they got rid of him because he was not good. He was a liability, and they won the World Series. There's no doubting, right? That's exactly what happened. They were better without him. It was addition by subtraction. Strasburg was also off the chain that World Series too, that postseason. Anyways, Atlanta Hawks taking on the Miami Heat. Trae Young taking matters into his own hands in Game 3. The Hawks look dead to rights. The Heat probably shaking their heads, saying we really let the fish off the hook in that game. They generally don't let that happen twice. They have one of the best coaches in the NBA. So generally you don't let that happen twice in a row. But Lowry now is an injury issue for the Heat. Al Ninos, what do you think here?
Yeah, looking at this matchup, I think all 3 games stayed under. I think I'm gonna have to go.
You seem like we hit you out of left field that this game was coming or something.
Yeah, no, I know. I've been thinking about it. I know. I'll lean to the over.
All right. Well, we also have the Suns and the Pelicans today also, so you give you a little time to think about it there. Anyways, Joe Biden, the Heat are playing the Hawks today. Capella listed as questionable here now for this one.
Oh, yeah? Well, either way, I'm going to keep on riding this under till the wheels fall off, just like I said in my video. I like the under in this one. Cashed on it in game 3, so, there's been a couple of these games where it just stayed under, like by a half a point or a point. So, this is what I'll say. As long as, the winner of this game stays at, let's say, 112, 110, 111, somewhere around there. I think it's going to be a close game, myself. But as long as, it doesn't get, one of these teams don't score way too out of hand, then, the under should be in play. And I think as this series goes along, the more physical it's going to get. So if the referees swallow the whistle, then, the under's going to keep on being in play for me in this series.
Compared to Joe Morgan's MVP, Harper has been a big disappointment. Joe Morgan's got World Series rings. Bryce Harper's got nothing. I mean, he does not make his team better. And that's just the proven fact. We saw it in Washington. We see it here in Philadelphia. He's not a player that makes everybody around him better. And that's what makes a guy an MVP. Do you think that these guys, these Tampa Bay Bucks wide receivers, and I'll use the same example I use all the time. Do you think Gronk is a Hall of Famer if Tom Brady's not his quarterback? I doubt it. I mean, he's a good player, but Tom Brady made him a better player. He makes everybody on his team a better player. He makes guys accountable. He makes guys accountable. Bryce Harper is a clown, man. He is a clown. He is like, just this joke, man. It's like he never plays on a winning team. It's ridiculous. Why would you want this guy who doesn't make everybody else around him better? He makes everybody worse. It's terrible, man. It's like, why do you want this guy? Kind of like, there's in the NBA, there are guys that are like that too, that put up big points and all that stuff, but they don't make their teams better. There's a lot of guys, that don't make their teams better. I don't know. Bryce Harper, I think, is the prime example, of a guy that you look, and it's not just on one team. He went from Washington, who won the World Series the next year. It didn't even take him long, It wasn't like, a couple of years later, so maybe what didn't really factor. It was the very next year they won the World Series. He was the anchor weighing them down. All right. We'll continue to bash Harper all the way to his third MVP trophy.
For me in this NBA basketball game, I'm going to make it 3 for 3. I'm also going to take the under here. The Hawks 13-3 last 16 games as to the under when posted as the dog. I just think this game's going to be very physical. I think it gets more physical as the series progresses here. I think it goes under the 221 221.
Well, Lowry also listed as questionable for this one. I'm going to have to go with the Karate Kid quote here. Leave no doubt. I think the Heat leave no doubt this time. I think they left the door open last time. I think they really, really regret it. They had a chance to put the Hawks away in that game. Were unable to do it. They were up big the whole game. They were up double digits most of the way. And I think this time they don't let them back in. I think this time they just finish them off. Because there's one thing about that Jimmy Butler. He doesn't like to lose. And he knows that he doesn't get any respect either. He's the anti-Bryce Harper, right? He's the guy that actually does win. He's the guy that actually does make everybody else better, right? He's the guy that kind of does all those things. But when you talk about like who the best players are, he's rarely in that discussion. He's in the discussion of the good players. I mean, we get more comments here trying to defend Jamal Murray as a superstar than, putting Jimmy Butler as one of the top 5 players in this league who took this Heat team on his back 2 years ago all the way to the finals. Lost to the Lakers as the number 4 seed. This guy can flat out play. He's got a lousy attitude. And that's why, because he doesn't like to talk to the reporters, he doesn't like, all this other stuff. So he's not good. That's the way he's painted. That he doesn't belong in that same discussion as these guys that, get along with the reporters and stuff. Bryce, the baseball MVP isn't voted on by anybody that has anything to do with baseball. It's basically like us, guys like us. Really, there's no difference. We watch more games than those guys do. Bryce Harper. Can't stand him. Well, Cole's going today, so you could have those two guys on the same team. It would be freaking awesome.
Oh, we know there won't be any White Sox MVPs, but it's okay.
Yeah, except for last
maybe
year.
one day.
Except for last year, right? When
I
Abreu won
just-
the MVP, right? So,
Wow.
yeah, except for last season. Okay. They also won their division. They also were a postseason team.
Well, maybe they'll win a game again. Maybe I like them today. I think they break out of that 6-game funk.
Well, they
7
get some help today.
losing count.
They get some help today. Lucas Giolito comes back today. So instead of having Jimmy Lambert and
Vince Velasquez
and whatever, now you have the number one of the ace of the staff. When you're missing your number one pitcher, we'll get to baseball in just a second, but I will go through this for the 8,000th time. When you're missing your number one pitcher in the rotation, your number two becomes your number one, your number three becomes your number two, your number four becomes your number three, and you have a mismatch across the board against every other pitcher on the other team. You're way better off as taking the guy out of the minor leagues, putting him as the number one, taking a shot, against against Kershaw or whoever the hell he's going to have to face. You're way better off taking a shot with that than throwing everybody in the rotation off. But no manager can figure it out. They should Mitch at PickDawgz.com. You guys need any help? Right here.
I completely agree.
It's just it is. It moves everybody up a slot, and unless you have that 1A, Max Scherzer, Jacob deGrom, right? Unless you have Kershaw with Greinke, right? Unless you have those things, it's like Verlander with Cole, right? Unless you have that, then it doesn't work. Anyways, speaking of working, we got the Pelicans against the Suns. This is a way better series than anyone could have thought at the beginning. The Pelicans 39-48 on the season. It's 2-1 Suns, but the Pelicans giving them everything they can handle, and then some. I love the way the Pelicans, the direction of this team. I like the way that they've just said Zion Williamson isn't even really on this team. We're going to act as if he doesn't play. If he ever comes back, great. If he doesn't, well, we got another plan. Jovan, what do you think here? Big Easy?
Well, I'm looking towards the under in this one. So if you look at the total last game, it was 216. It went over by 9 points, but the total hasn't really crept up, or it wasn't set higher, which is what you see when you get an over game. So it's actually went down like a point and a half. So I think I'm gonna ride the under in this one.
Al Niños.
Yeah, I think the Pelicans might steal another one here. I'll take a shot on the money line with the Pelicans. No Devin Booker. I know the line, the people know that, but again, this number comes down a little bit, but I still think you got some value on the Pelicans at home here, so little dog. I said before last week, I wasn't the biggest Suns fan even with Booker on the court, so I think things might be getting a lot tougher.
Well,
they still might be the better team in this matchup, but I'll take a shot at the Pelicans here. They need to win this game, otherwise, I think the Suns might take care of business back at home.
Well, the prop bet on like guys like Chris Paul and stuff. So I didn't realize these guys never hit threes. I didn't. You would think that Chris Paul over 1.5 on YouTube. I mean, over on YouTube. Over 1.5. I'm looking, obviously, it's something else. The over 1.5 on threes is like, that's his number. 1.5 on the props.
That may be one of my biggest problems I have with him. He's not the sharpest shooter. I mean, not from deep. From mid-range, he's great, but he's not. It's not he doesn't have the best three-point shot in the game. And at his size and the way he plays, I think that's one part of his game that really needs to step up if he wants to take anyone anywhere.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the well and take the Pelicans in the first quarter at plus a half a point or on the money line. They hit for me in game 3. I think they come out strong in this one. You're going to have to come out strong and punch Phoenix in the mouth in the first quarter. So I'll take the Pelicans first quarter.
I like the Pelicans as well here. I just think this series is just going to be a lot tougher than people expected, including me. And I think that we're seeing a bunch of guys in this playoffs become, take their game to the next level. And kind of like Jamal Murray did, a couple of years ago in the bubble, I think we're seeing guys like Ingram, say I could play here too, and I could take over a game. And I mean, what was he, the second player taken in the NBA draft? So this should not be a surprise to anybody, that this guy can flat out play. And, he was taken in this, or what was he, second or third overall in that draft? He was up there, right? He was way up there, So it's like it shouldn't be any surprise at all that this guy can flat out play and be the same position that Tatum was taken, in the draft, same spot. So, or in that same neighborhood, right? So there should be no reason why you wouldn't think that he could do it. But all we ever heard about the Pelicans, before this was Zion. But I love that McCollum trade, man. That really is one of the best things that ever happened to this organization. Way better than
the season.
Changed the season, changed the team. You have a guy that you can throw the ball to, and he's going to hit the shot. He's going to make it. I like him. Brian, what are you selling today?
Well, got back on track yesterday with a winning day. It wasn't easy, but we got it across the finish line. I got my no limit 3-pack. It includes 2 NBA winners, my Sunday night pound zone and my Sunday night money shot, and my best bet Major League Baseball. 3 best bets for $50 at PickDawgz.com per me picks.
How about you, Jovan?
Yeah, I got 2 3-packs, one on the NBA side, one on the Major League Baseball side. My Shut 'em Down Sunday NBA playoff 3-pack and my Show Me the Money Sunday MLB 3-pack. Both $39.99.
How about you, Al Ninos?
Just a pretty quiet day for me. Just a 3-pack of my best bet in each sport, and then an extra play in the NBA for everyone on the long-term passes.
I just have an MLB 3-pack out there right now. I'll probably shift this throughout the day. I'll probably shift it throughout the day and change it around. I have some NBA picks and I have some other MLB picks as well. But to start it off, I have 3 MLB picks in the MLB 3-pack. And yesterday I had plus money day. I went 3-3 on the day, but you guys know I love the dogs. You guys criticize like crazy on YouTube for picking all the dogs all the time. But you go 3-3, you end up plus money. And that's really what it's all about. It's not about the record, it's about the units. At least for me, it's not. I know some other people, if you're on Twitter or something, or if you're a Dodger backer or something, then you care about the record. But I think records are for fans, and units are for bettors. That should be our saying, right? So kind of like other sites have their sayings, like, yeah, I still hear that noise. But anyways, it's
That was me.
Yep.
I was unmuting there, so I didn't think you'd hear that one, but that's good to know. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's like,
okay.
I wonder what it is. There it is. I hear it now.
No.
See? Now I don't.
Well, I didn't click anything that time. That's weird.
Anyways, we go to Major League Baseball, and the Tigers up against the Rockies. Miggy getting that 3,000th hit right out of the gate. He's already at 3,002. We talked about a lot of major leaguers in this 3,000 hit range yesterday, and Miggy has a chance to pass a lot of them this season. I mean, because he just got the 3,000th hit early, even if he retires at the end of this year, which there's no guarantee he's going to do that. He's got a lot of guys that he can pass on this list. And I know last year, I was big on Miggy. And, a lot of people were saying that he wasn't as good as I said he was, but only 7 players in the history of the game have hit 500 home runs and have had 3,000 hits, and he's one of them. Talking like Hank Aaron and Willie Mays type stuff here. Is what we're talking. So I don't know how you could take anything away from this guy. Plus, he's been a guy that's made his teammates better. Here's a guy that's made his teammates better. He makes his team better. Not like some guy that wears a bandana and acts like he's actually won something. It's like, what a doofus! Like when the hat comes off, when he always blunders that.
Tomorrow I'm wearing a bandana on the show.
Yeah, whenever he blunders he makes that blunder out in the field, and he's like up against the wall, and his hat is flying off, and he just looks like an idiot. It's like, there's your MVP. Got blasted by the Brewers. Yeah, Tyler Alexander against Chad Kuhl. No one's going to confuse these guys for MVPs. Then we've got go to Tampa. What a game that was yesterday. Oh, my God, man. This was the one, for people like me who love defense, it was a great game. People that love offense, it was a horrible game to watch. And then they got to extra innings, and it was more action in in one extra inning, one inning of baseball, than there was in the entire 9 innings of the regular game. But anyway, Shane McClanahan up against Rich Hill in that one. And then we got Adon for the Nationals, who got absolutely crushed yesterday. That game was not nearly as close as the score made it look. And then we have the Logan Webb on the mound for the Giants, but a big favorite here at -210. Brian, any of these three?
Yesterday I took the Giants -2.5. I think I'm going to take him again at that number. I just think the Nationals pitcher is going to get rocked again by the San Francisco Giants lineup. Logan Webb's solid pitcher. I think he can hold them down to 1 or 2 runs today. So I'll lay the big alternate run line with the Giants. Colorado Rockies and Detroit Tigers. Kuhl has pitched way above his pay grade. I think I'm going to take Alexander, Detroit Tigers at home to get the W there. So Tigers money line and San Francisco Giants -2.5.
Jovan?
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker for the Red Sox yesterday. Yeah, Trevor Story could have ended it, but didn't. And next thing you know, 2-run shot, game over. For this one, I think they lose again. Shane McClanahan, he's, last 2 starts against the Red Sox. That was last 10 innings, both 5 runs, no earned runs against the Red Sox. Hasn't given up anything. I think he does it again, and the Rays win. And I'll go money line. I'll go run line with that one.
Al Niños?
Yeah, tough pitching matchup for the Red Sox, but I think that gives us a lot of value on them. So I don't mind taking a shot on the Red Sox tonight, actually. Or today, I should say, not tonight. Yeah, Giants is real pricey, but I mean, if you want to play that game, I'd take them run line. And maybe take a shot on the Rockies, but that's my least favorite of the 3.
I don't know. The Tigers seem to string wins together when they do it. The Rockies, 3-1 on the road this season. I think that's more wins than they had the entire first half of the season last year on the road. Definitely the surprise team of the West and where the money is at. My guess is if we look at the teams this season, I'll look at it. What the heck? Since now they brought it up, and I did in today's newsletter. I did talk about the profitable teams. But when we look at Major League Baseball and we look at the profitable teams this season, the Colorado Rockies are the most profitable team, and it's not even close. If you bet $10 on every one of their games on the money line, you're up almost $60. Second place is the Cardinals. Third is the Blue Jays. Fourth is the Mets. And only 13 of the 30 teams, and this is typical, you've made plus money. It's rare the Dodgers are plus money at this point, but they are. Normally in April is where we see the dip out of the Dodgers for that where we see that dip. And once they drop below the 0, they never come back. But the Dodgers on April 10th were down about 1.5 units and have bounced back from there. But when we look at the Rockies, the chart is off the charts. And even Oakland, even after these last couple of games, still 5th best. The Giants, 6th best. The Padres, Mariners, Dodgers, Pirates, Orioles, Angels. This is the Brian Bitler All-Star team here at 10, 11, and 12. This is basically his postseason predictions. Pirates, Orioles, and Angels all grouped together. They're all turning profits, which shows why Brian is on the leaderboard for baseball this season. Despite
couldn't help the Angels yesterday, that minus 275 loss. So.
But the way on the betting tools that that it works is that the betting tools look at it that you bet $10 on a game. So if you lose $10, you just lose 10. But if you win that and you're the Angels, you only win $1, $3 or something. So that's why, that's how most people bet. I bet the other way around. Like I always bet to win 100. I bet to win 100 on favorites. On favorites, I bet to win 100. On dogs, I bet 100. So it's kind of like I bet a unit. I don't bet 100, but I bet a unit on dogs, and the other way, I bet whatever it takes to
get to the 100.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's the way it should be. I think. Yeah.
I love the profitable teams. I sent a note to our programmers that I really want to dig more into the profitable teams and be able to sort a couple more different ways by seasons and things like that. This season is one of those. But, you could kind of do it like I put last 30 days for baseball, and that way you can tell this season. As we go on, it'll be the last 90 days, 180 days, and then by the end of the season, it's the past year. But we've lost last season, the integrity of it with our betting tools. But I think the guys can easily fix that, but we'll figure it out. But anyways, I don't know. I like the Giants here, but the minus 210 just makes it unbettable for me. I don't care who you are. Logan Webb has not looked as good as he did last season, that's for sure. And the Giants generally have a guy that's like this, that has like the good numbers, who had the good season last year, and then has a bad record. Matt Cain was the king of that. Matt Cain was like the best 7-23 pitcher you ever saw. It's like he had numbers that if he was on the right team, he was he would be one of those guys that you have, that's 7-23 with a 2.4 ERA, and then you have a guy who's on the Yankees who has a 5.14 ERA and who's 17-3. It's just, you see it all the time. That's why the stats as far as pitching goes in Major League Baseball, the throwout stats are starting pitcher wins and losses is the number one throwout stat in baseball. Number 2, relief pitcher ERA. Those are the two stats that really don't mean anything. Relief pitcher ERA, the runs, they come in, the bases loaded, they give up a single or a bases clearing double. All of those runs get charged to the other pitcher, even though it was clearly their pitch that the guy scored on. So they don't take anything on that. There's nothing on that. And then, El Nino, so you got to knock it off, whatever it is. Anyways, or mute when you do it. But the other, and then starting pitcher, it's like he could be the guy that, you could lose 1-0. You get the loss, and you could have a 1.03 ERA and have a losing record. It's like it doesn't, if you don't go, it's weird because it's like if you're not a starting pitcher and you could pitch a third of an inning and you're say you're the guy that closes out the 6th inning and your team's losing 4-3, right? You pitch just one batter, and it's the end of the inning, so they can take you out at that point. You pitch that last batter of the 6th inning. Okay, you're down 4-3. Your team gets up the plate, they score 5 runs, and then you win the game. He pitched a third of an inning, he can get the win, but the starting pitcher that pitched 4 2/3 can't. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. It should be the same treatment. The guy that had the lead, if you're going to give that guy for taking the lead while he's pitching, then a starting pitcher that leaves the game in the fourth inning should get the same treatment, especially if he can take the loss. Right? Because with loss, it doesn't matter. If you're a starting pitcher, you can only take a loss if you don't go 5 innings. You can't get a win if you're a starting pitcher. I don't know. Makes the whole stat useless as far as wins and losses. Speaking of losses, Garrett Cole, the worst pitcher on the Yankees rotation, in action today. He's got an ERA over 6. The numbers are the numbers. I'm not just saying it because I don't like the guy and I thought he was overpaid the day they signed him and have been criticizing him ever since, like he's Bryce Harper or something. But, yeah, he's terrible. Last time out, right, 5 walks. He could not find the plate. I mean, he could not find the plate. He got bailed by his bullpen in that game and didn't take the loss. He got bailed out because he left with the bases loaded and his bullpen got him out of the jam. They didn't score any more runs. But he should have been, 5-6 runs in that game. Savali has not looked like the same guy that we've seen in the past for the Guardians. You think so the thing about the Guardians, they like to guard who's going to start, right? that's their guarded information. Now it all makes sense. Got the St. Louis Cardinals up against the Reds. 3 words about the Cincinnati Reds: dead to me. Dead to me.
It's too early for a team to be dead to you.
Oh no, dead to me. Done.
We're still in April.
I'm so done with the Cincinnati Reds.
I'm pissed off at the Reds, but I can't say that I'm done with it.
Well, maybe at some point we can look at maybe getting back together again. But as for right now, I'm ending this relationship. I'm just done with them. I can't do it anymore. I've given all I can give.
Need your space?
Yeah, I need my space. I'm going to have to start seeing other teams. Got the Braves and the Marlins. That was an awesome game yesterday, man. I had the Marlins yesterday, and I got to say, that was one of my favorite games I watched. And because I won, but it was like the way that they won. They just toyed with the Braves. Just toyed with them. And then when the Braves thought, like, oh, man, we're going to come back because we've come back on them every time in this game, the Braves couldn't even get a bat even to foul a ball off. It was like they just mowed them down. And then we've got the Astros here up against the Blue Jays. And, this has been all Blue Jays this series. Big surprise, I would say, going into Houston and busting them up. It's early, but I think we saw this last year with the Astros too. Al Ninos would know this is kind of his sort of stat here. When Jose Altuve doesn't play for the Astros, they don't win a lot of games. And I think, it just seems to be that way. And we saw it last year. We're seeing it this year.
How many games does Kikuchi win? That's the other question.
Well, it's really starting pitchers only pitch 4 or 5 innings these days. It's not like they're going into the 8th. They pitch less than 50% of the game, and they're only on the field 50% of the time. So there's a lot more to this than starting pitching. In baseball, there's really maybe if you're betting first 5 innings, that has something to do with something. But
I like the Blue Jays against Verlander, so obviously it's not all about starting pitching. I
had the Seahawks to beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl 8 years ago too, but it's like, really doesn't matter.
No, what I was trying to get to is that I think it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't matter. It's Kikuchi or whoever. I think the Blue Jays much better lineup here, and they probably win this game anyway. But I just find it really hard to back Kikuchi. That's all. I don't remember the last time I bet on him.
All right.
I can remember betting against him. I don't not betting against him today. That's for sure. If I had to pick there, it's Blue Jays. Yeah.
Sounds personal.
Maybe it is.
It sounds personal. Jovan, what do you think of these 3? Going to jump on the Reds here? You think today's the day?
Absolutely not.
Nick
Yeah, well,
Lodolo to the rescue.
I'll say I'm gonna take a shot with the Guardians, and this is just based on what happened with last game. Well, Garrett Cole, he's been giving it up, but with the end of the ugliness with the end of that game, and the Guardians outfielders getting into it with the fans out in left field and right field. I believe. Well, yeah, left field I think mainly. Yeah, I think well right field mainly, but anyway. Yeah, I think that the Guardians batters, I think they come in, I don't know, with some sort of focus and because they had that game, to be honest, but they couldn't pull it out, and I think they do pull it out. Plus, you're getting almost 2-1 on your money, so I'll take a shot with them, and I would take a shot with the Astros. To tell you the truth, Luis Garcia's on the mound. He's been pitching, I believe, relatively well. But it's not just that. Yusai Kikuchi, he doesn't pitch good against the Astros, even though the Astros are a light hand club as of right now. Yeah, I'll just take a shot with the Astros in this one. They know Kikuchi, they know how to hit him, and I think they'll get to him.
They don't hit lefties particularly well,
Nope.
but everyone hits Kikuchi particularly well. Brian, what do you think about this? I'm with Jovan. I think the whole garbage throwing thing of the fans, not really good for the team on the field, and I think the Yankees know that.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Jovan here, but I'm going to wimp out. I'm going to take the +1.5 on the Guardians. They've been a pretty good road run line team. I believe they're 6-2 this season on the run line. And then in the Cincinnati Reds Cardinals game, I'm going to give the Cardinals the kiss of death. I'm going to back them here, take that Super Public team. So everybody out there, fade me, take the Reds. But because I have no luck when I do this. It's just, how could you not take Wainwright? He's put up great numbers. Cardinals just a much better team. Reds just can't seem to score runs. So why not take the Cardinals today? Seems like easy money. And then the one last thing, the Cleveland Guardians-Yankees game. I'm going to take a crack on the under 7. The total just looks super low for Savali, who's struggled, and Cole, who's struggled, both with above 6 ERAs. It just doesn't seem right. So I'm going to take the under here, under 7.
I love the Guardians today. I'm going to do the anti-Bittler, and I'm going to go with the reverse run line here. You're getting gigantic price here on the Guardians on the reverse. You're getting plus 277, laying a run and a half with the Guardians. I just think it's too much value to pass up. I think they're going to come out early. I think you take them first 5 innings. I think you take, run first inning I think all the way. I like the Guardians big in this one. I think they come back. I think whenever you see that trash throwing of the fans and all that other stuff, it's usually not a good sign for that team the next day. And it's not just that. It just shows the frustration of the fans. They know Cole's pitching today. They know they're in trouble, right? It's like, this guy's he's crippling this organization. Terrible. He's an embarrassment to the sport. Outside of that, he might have some decent stuff. Thing is, you take him, you put him on the Cardinals or something, he's probably pretty good. But here, it's like, he wasn't the number 1 in Houston. He was the number 1 in Pittsburgh. And there, he always had the blow-up inning. The Yankees have gotten a lot of good guys from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Jameson Tyone.
Cortez, I thought, pitched really, really well yesterday, though. I'll give that to him. Cortez has been amazing for them. He's been really good. Got the White Sox and the Twins. And in this one, looks like Lucas Giolito is going to make it to the hill here up against Chris Archer as the White Sox look to end this road losing fiasco. 2-6 on the road this season. They are falling back in the standings. Got the Cubs against the Pirates. You know, the Pirates lost 21-0 yesterday, but the thing is, if you bet the Pirates all 3 games this series, you're way up because they were big dogs in all 3 games. So yesterday you lost 1 unit. The first 2 games you won probably 3 units combined. You're still up 2 units. You could bet the Pirates today. And even if they lose, you still won the series up a full unit. And I think anyone will take that. If you can win a unit on every baseball series all season long, I think if someone told me you could have a unit for every series that gets played in baseball this season, and you don't have to bet at all, I'll take it. And I think that's what you have here with this one. I like the Pirates anyway with Brubaker here against Justin Steele, who started the season strong, but we know, you're going to play to the back of your card, and it's going to happen in a hurry. Brubaker has not pitched well this season, but he's pitched in the number 1 spot, too, most of the season. And then the Baltimore Orioles, I gave this one out, the YouTube Premium pick for me, the last 2 days in a row on our YouTube Premium. I gave out the Baltimore Orioles, and 2 days in a row, they have been cash.
I remember you used to make fun of me for taking the Baltimore Orioles. Oh.
Yeah, but they're up against your other team, the Angels, It's like,
You used to say, if you take the Orioles, that's it. You're
all right,
done.
well, let's look at this. Okay, let's look at this. Dylan Bundy with the Angels, Dylan Bundy with the Twins.
Look at Bundy, yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing, It's addition by subtraction. It's like there's certain teams that just aren't good. Mike Trout getting busted up late in the game too with the runner in scoring position. I mean, you rarely do you see them just blow a fastball right past them. He
had 2 homers yesterday, though.
Yeah, but when they needed him most.
So you had to hit 3 home runs.
No, all he needed to do actually was make contact and advance the runner to third. There was less than 2 outs, and he had a runner on second, down by 1.
When you're the best player in the league, you got to make contact.
You really need to either walk or make the hit. That's what you're getting paid to do. I mean, not everybody cares about the useless stats of Chris Bryant and Bryce Harper winning MVPs because they're on very, big market teams and put up reasonable numbers in garbage time. Going by those numbers, Jake Plummer was the NFL MVP like 10 times he should have been. The king of garbage time. The undisputed king of garbage time. I can't tell you how many times, I don't play fantasy football, but I can't tell you how many people I know that won fantasy football leagues with Jake Plummer as their quarterback. I mean, this guy throws for 400 in garbage time, no problem. Down by 30, It's like, here comes Jake.
Now, my fantasy quarterback's been Lamar Jackson. He's been able to get the points running and the points thrown.
He's been injured.
Over the seasons I didn't win last year, but over the years that I did win, Lamar Jackson.
Was it last year you had to take a crap in the middle of the game? You had to come out of the game?
I think that was the year before.
I love Lamar. I think he's totally underrated. I thought when they drafted him that was like one of the great picks, and he kind of got blown over.
Second round pick, yep.
It was like, who else was in that draft? Like Carson Wentz, right? That was the Trubisky Wentz. It was like, what are you guys doing? It's like, what are you even thinking? It's like, he doesn't have the arm that Vic has, and that's why. He had the same wheels, where he could run like that, but didn't have the arm strength. And it's so what? I don't get it.
All right, don't get off track here. We're on baseball.
Now the Ravens get their running back this year. The guy that was from Ohio State, that running back. What's his name again? The guy
Dobbins.
Yeah, Dobbins. They're going to be better. The Ravens will be a lot better this year with him. The Ravens will be one of the more improved teams. Of course, Eagles going to go into battle with Jalen Hurts. Anyways. Where are we at? Who likes what? Brian,
we're at the baseball section.
Did you give your picks here?
Not yet, but I can. I'm going to fade the best team in Chicago. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to take the Pittsburgh Pirates again today. JT Brubaker, I think he's due for a good start. Justin Steele, like Mitch said, he should revert to the back of his baseball card. I don't know how you could not like the Pirates today. So even if you bet them, you're still up on the series. I'm going to take the Chicago White Sox with Giolito on the mound. I think they have to win this game today. The price is decent. Chris Archer's had a good start to the season. I just think the White Sox take this one by a run. And if Baltimore Orioles is in this time section we're talking about, I'll take the Orioles today plus the 1.5. I think they could win the game outright, but you know me, I like to play it safe here. I think the Orioles keep it within a run.
Jovan?
Yeah, so I like the over in the Pittsburgh Pirates Cubs game. I mean, it's high, but I just think with JT Brubaker and Justin Steele on the mound, I think it's a combination to get a lot of runs on across the plate, some way, somehow. And I'll take a shot with the White Sox in this one with Giolito coming back. Chris Archer, yeah, he's been pitching well, but I'm not sold that this is going to be some long-term success with him. So, and their bullpen can give it up. So, I'll run with them.
Al Ninos?
Yeah, White Sox probably my favorite one on that list. They got to turn this around no matter how bad they've been on the road. As you said, Giolito coming back, I think, is a good spot for them to turn things around.
That's it.
As for the other two, I might take a shot on the Dogs, but not loving it, especially after that Pirates. I mean, it happens. The 21-0.
It doesn't. It counts. It just counts as one.
Oh, absolutely.
Counts as one.
Absolutely.
I'm taking the Pirates on the reverse run line here. Getting at -1.5, you're getting plus 201. I think we could take it a little further out than this, though. I really do. I think that they bounce back here. The Cubs have. You look at this series, it's still 2-1 Pirates, and traditionally the Pirates mop the floor with the Cubs at Wrigley Field. So I'm not sold here on the Cubs. They won one game. They scored 21 runs. Big deal. It's Justin Steele. He's not a -170 pitcher. I don't care if he's playing against, who he's playing against. I love the Pirates here. I think the -1.5 is definitely in play, and I think we could strongly consider 2.5. Let's see what kind of payout we can get on that. So it's plus 296 on the 2.5. And then if you can go to 3.5, which I really believe is in play here too, plus 418. And then for people like me that have an issue, -4.5 at plus 605 payback time for the Pirates. I mean, a 6-1 game, you cash that thing. 6-1 on your money. What, like the Cubs haven't lost by 6 runs, in our lifetime or something? It happens all the time. Anyways, we'll lay at least the 1.5 though with the Pirates getting 2-1 on our money. I see you, Mills. I see you. All right, so Mills, we're gonna bring Mills on as well, and let's see what we got. You got Mills Young with us. Mills, how you doing?
Man, how's everybody doing out there on this Sunday blessed day?
We're doing well. We're just going through the baseball card. We did the NBA, so I know you'll have something to say about that. And then last night we had a UFC card. You want to give everybody a quick recap of what we saw? And I know you, in your premium picks on UFC, swept the board there.
Yeah, man. Last night, man, we came out the gate smoking. Brad Francis as well. Both my premium picks hit. I had an underdog on there that I loved. That everybody was on the opposite side. That's one of those when when you hear everybody on the opposite side, you just love your bet even more. And I don't blame them. They were on Clay Guida, a veteran in the game with over 58 fights in the UFC. But he ain't it, man. So I had Claudio Polaris on there at plus money. Gave him out a little bit earlier on in the week. Then he changed out to be a favorite. Then I had another straight money line play at a -110 that closed out in one in the first round. Our lottery pick that we gave out on the show cash. Our best pick cash. Our best dog cash. I mean, hey, man, appreciate everybody who got your packages and your picks because, hey, here at PickDawgz, all we did was cash yesterday.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of the show, I think almost every capper on the site turned a profit yesterday if you looked at all of their picks. So that's the first time you ever really met Brad, right? Is recently your last couple of shows that you've done with him, right? You didn't know him prior to that. So he's not here, so you could pretty much say whatever you want about him. We won't tell him. So, how's that going so far, like working with Brad?
I'll be honest, man. I was a little bit, I was a little bit hesitant the first time on air because I'm like, all right, we never been on air together, let alone even conversated too much. I'll be honest, it went perfect. The first time we was on air, it seemed like we had chemistry. It seemed like we knew each other already. So I'm loving it, man. We got I think 3 episodes in right now, and it's just gonna keep rolling right now. So keep tuning in every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern here. We're only doing a 30-minute show on here. You're probably going to be able to check it on the archives or the library on the PickDawgz, but I'll be honest, man. Right now, me and Brad Francis, we're going to be building a community here at PickDawgz for the MMA people out there, so come on over.
I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of Twitter messages. I get a lot of stuff about MMA and how we haven't really covered much of it, but I have to say that I knew when I put Mills and Brad together that it would be a good beginning of our MMA coverage because Brad has done stuff with us in the past, and of course Mills' stuff is out there. And we'll get back to the MMA. We'll also get some NBA from you in just a little bit. But let's finish out this baseball card where we kind of were midstream with the guys here, battling our way through it. And I've been pretty critical on a lot of players today. I'll admit it. I kind of, I'm sick of these guys already.
I know you've been hot on my boy Garrett Cole out here, and I mean, and it gives you have the right to, you have the right to, especially with the ERA that he got. But today he's turning it around, man. We need this win, man. We need him to come out there and go a solid 6 innings, get that spider tack from the back of your hair, act like you're rubbing it in, do something, man, because we need Garrett Cole to show up today, man. We can't take that.
He's an embarrassment to the entire organization. Just the pure textbook example of, how to waste $36 million a year. I mean, he's been absolutely terrible. It's like, I think you make $36 million, you got to do better than that. And that's just, I understand that, it's the going rate, it's all that other stuff. Well, the money still is paid by us, and it's like, I want to see more than that. I need to see more. It's kind of like Bryce Harper, I expect to win some games at some point. Well, anyways, where were we here on this, Brian? Did everyone get their chance to say? I was just applauding the Pirates, right? Is where I was, and I'm on the Pirates on the reverse run line. Did we do the A's yet? So we're on.
I don't think we did the A's.
All right, so we're on Angels, Orioles, A's, Rangers, and the Diamondbacks and the Mets. Brian, Orioles, your team, straight money. The last 2 days, just taking it to the Angels. Chris Ellis is not bad. He's not bad here at all, man. But Suarez has pitched pretty decently here for the Angels so far. I know Jovan not a big Suarez guy, but what do you think here, Brian, in this one, in these 3? Cole Irvin and Spencer Howard, a guy that you know well from Philly, and Madison Bumgarner.
Yes. Spencer Howard stinks. I'm going to take the Oakland A's with Cole Irvin on the mound. Seems almost too good to be true, but I'll take a crack here with Oakland A's. I'll take the Baltimore Orioles plus the 1.5. I'm not ballsy enough just to take them on the money line today. I think it's a 1-run game either way. Ellis hasn't looked bad at all. And then the Diamondbacks and the Mets. McGill's been lights out, but Bumgarner hasn't been bad either. I'll take the Diamondbacks plus the 1.5. So Diamondbacks 1.5, Orioles 1.5, Oakland A's money line.
Al Ninos.
I like the A's a lot. Yeah, that's my favorite one there. And I still have to stick with the Mets -1.
How about you, Joe?
A much better lineup. Sorry. Yeah. Diamondbacks.
Yeah. So I'm not shy about fading Suarez or backing the Baltimore Orioles in this one. So I'll take the Orioles on the money line with this one, and I'll take the under on the Mets Arizona game. These 2 pitchers come out the gate hot, and I think they keep it rolling 8.5. Well, 8.5 in Arizona, but they're playing in the dome, so whatever. I'll take a flyer on the under in that game.
Mills, anything on these three?
Yeah, I'm looking at that Baltimore game right there. I would be leaning that way. They're 4-5. They actually won 4 of the last games out of the last 5. A little bit surprising when you talk about that team. When you look at the Angels, man, Angels ain't in the outfield, so ain't nobody saving them. So, Rocky Suarez, I want to say, is on the mound. Not too high on that guy. So I'm really looking to fade the Angels right now until they turn it around and show me that they can really just put up some wins. The next game on the mound, the A's and the Rangers, shit, I remember the Rangers beat up them, I think, like 2 days ago. So I definitely look for a revenge spot with Carl Irvin on the mound. Maybe look for a K prop in there. Talking about that Mets game, the thing I like in there, Tyler Miguel over his K prop, that's something I'll be looking for in that Mets and Diamondbacks game as well.
I like I like the A's here too. I think Spencer Howard. It's terrible. I don't understand how the total's dropping. The wind must really be blowing in there in Oakland because Cole Irvin. I mean, this guy used to be in the Phillies bullpen. They don't give that to everybody. It looks like it's blowing out to right. Actually, at 8 miles an hour. But I don't see it. I see the over there. I see Spencer Howard giving up 4 home runs in 3 innings in his only outing this season, and that is typical Spencer Howard numbers. I'm surprised by that Brian doesn't really like him a lot. Normally those are his guys, But I also like the over in this Diamondbacks Mets game. Tyler McGill is another guy who gives up a lot of home runs. I mean, bombs too. He doesn't give up like the little, is it going to make it over the wall type home runs. He gives up the long, like the Red Sox used to have a guy named Bruce Hurst, a lefty, who gave up like these monster home runs. Like he would give up 2-3 runs a game, but 2 of them would be like moonblast solo shots. And that's what McGill gives up, those same type of really long home runs. Bumgarner is kind of a tough luck pitcher. It's like even when he pitches well, his bullpen seems to let him down these days. So I don't know. I just like the over in that game. And I'll just fade the Mets just because I think minus 170 on Tyler McGill on the road is just insanity. Doesn't even
Let me ask you something, Mitch, on that game. Since you say Tyler McGill gives up a lot of jacks and everything like that, what would be one player on the Diamondbacks that you think might be able to hit a home run today?
Well, I picked Peralta yesterday, and I don't even think he played. So let me see who we can get here. But let's see. Let's look at the we'll go to the prop tools right here on sportschatplace.com. Head on over to players. Click on MLB. You look at the player list. I will go right to it. I'll do it with you guys.
And then I would even love to know what Jose Ramirez does with Garrett Cole. He's been smacking, it seems like, over there for the Cleveland Guardians. And, Garrett Cole is always liable to give up a run or 2 in the early innings, the first 3 innings. Last time, man, I think he set a world record. I think he threw like 46 pitches in the second inning. It was bad.
Well, let's look at David Peralta again here. Let's see what his
Ramirez is 4 of 12 with 2 home runs against Cole. That's pretty good number.
That might be a look right there.
Peralta plus 600. See, he has not hit a home run in his last 5 though. So I'm not sure. Let's see what Varsho. It's just early in the season to get like the body of work of a lot of these players. I think maybe Peralta's due. I don't know.
Hey, you guys see out there for the people in the chat, man. You see how easy it is right there? You guys see a stat or something you want to research? Easy as that. You just pull it up on the screen right there at PickDawgz, the sports chat. It gives you all the stats that you need to get you some cash.
Dalton Varsho right here, plus 350. He's hit 40% of his last games. He's hit home runs. So we'll take a shot. %, plays 3.5 to 1. Yeah, that's actually not bad. Pot odds there on that thing. We got the Padres looking to make it 2 in a row here against the Dodgers, level out the series, facing Clayton Kershaw, who is in vintage Kershaw regular season form. Al Nino's not wearing his Kershaw shirt on Kershaw Day. So Bittler might have stole it from you. Got Robbie Ray against Carlos Hernandez here in the Seattle Kansas City game, and I think the odds that we're seeing here is more of a Seattle versus Kansas City thing than I think Robbie Ray against Carlos Hernandez, because to me Robbie Ray is not a -185 guy in my book. And then the nightcap, Aaron Nola's -170 against the Brewers. Yes. Brian.
Yeah, in that group in the games here, I don't think Robbie Ray's a -185 pitcher.
How about Aaron Nola at -170?
I'll get to that one. Hernandez, though, is a bum, but I think the Royals can keep this game within a run. Just a slight lean. I'm going to take the Kansas City Royals plus the 1.5. And then in the Milwaukee Brewers-Phillies game, I think you got to ride with the Milwaukee Brewers on the money line. It's just yesterday they cashed for us in a value spot against the Phillies. I think another value spot here. The Phillies and Brewers should be a close game, but I think with Lauer on the mound, I think he's pitching better than Nola, and you're getting plus money. Brewers lineup's hitting better. I'll take the Brewers on the money line. I think it's probably the best free pick of the day.
Mills.
I'm gonna be looking at that. Padres game. Sean Manaea over K-prop, and then I'm also gonna be looking at the under 7 in that game right there. Kershaw. I mean, he's been coming out hot right now. I think he has a under 2.6 ERA. If I'm actually not, let me give you that guys the correct numbers. Now he has a 3.0 ERA on the season right now. So I'm definitely gonna be looking at the under in that game. Brewers and Phillies. I'm not trusting the Phillies at all, so I'm probably just going to stay off that game. So I'm going to just be going on the under for the Dodgers game and the Sean Manaea over K-prop.
Al Ninos. Oh, Jovan, who do you like? Al, you got that noise, man. You got to mute yourself.
Yeah, I'm on the Mariners run line. Robbie Ray hasn't come out the gate and all that hot, but he's facing Carlos Hernandez. Carlos Hernandez not doing too well. And you got to look at it from this standpoint. The Mariners, they're 10-5 this season on the run line, 5-6. 5-1 in their last 6, and all those wins have been by margin. So I'm on the Mariners on the run line. And I was looking at that Milwaukee Brewers game. I was gonna put it out as a premium. Held back with it, but I'll take a shot with them on the money line with Eric Lauer on the mound. Aaron Nola, he's not one of my favorite guys. Sometimes you could back him, sometimes you can't. But it's been throughout the last couple years, it's been more fading them than backing them. So I'll fade them in this one.
Al Ninos.
Yeah, sorry about that sound, Mitch. We'll have to figure out what the hell's going on with that. Yeah, I have to agree with. I kind of like the under in the Dodgers game, but I definitely like the Brewers a lot better. Definitely has to be, as Brian said, one of the best free plays today. A lot of value there.
Everyone knows Nola pitches. I take reverse run line on the other team every time, and I'm not going to change this time. I'm taking the reverse run line. I'm also taking the Brewers first 5, first inning, first everything. I like the Brewers all the way in this one. First 5 over for the Brewers. Everything just unload here against Nola. Generally, he implodes around the 4th inning. So if it doesn't happen for us in the first inning, we know that the 4th inning it is
around the 6th.
It is going to come.
Around the 6th, he implodes.
Well, I've seen it in the 4th as well. It's going to happen. It's not if. It's when. And I think here the -1.5 at +221 is in my wheelhouse for the Brewers. But I think you could probably go to the 2.5 in this one as well at 327. So if you're conservative, just lay the 1.5 with the Brewers at +221. If you if you feel like ending the night in style and maybe have a little something extra to put on that Pelicans money line against the Suns, then you can, parlay it up. The -2.5 with the Pelicans -2.5 also, and like kind of do something like that.
So you're on the Brewers and the Pelicans today, heavy today, I see, huh?
Well, I'm not. Well, I'm always against Nola. There's certain guys I just bet against every time. It's like the beauty of this one is you get a bet against Bryce Harper and Nola at the same time. It's like, I think Bryce Harper is the most overblown, overrated player. With 2 MVPs in history, he could be. In the history of the game.
I think last year he finally had a good enough year to maybe make me pay attention to him a little bit, but I'm with you on the overhyped thing. But I think last year, though, he actually did have a decent year.
He won the MVP.
Yeah,
he won the MVP. His team didn't even make the playoffs. When he was on the Nationals, they got rid of him. They won the World Series the next year.
The year after.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, he's terrible, man. He does not make his team better. He does not make everybody else better. He hits garbage stats at garbage times. The same thing when Chris Bryant won the MVP for the Cubs. The exact same thing. They're the exact player, Mm-hmm. It's like down by 1, guy on second, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. He's not the guy you want up. He's not going to deliver for you. Not going to happen. He's going to maybe a deep fly ball, out. That's the best you're going to get from him. He's a drama queen too, man.
How do they feel about him out there in Philadelphia, Brian? How do they feel about him?
We love Bryce Harper out here.
He's a puddle. Sure. Well, they're used to losing, so it's like it's not a big deal, to them. They expect to lose. They got Jalen Hurts as their starting quarterback of their football
I think
team.
Jalen Hurts is better than what the Miami Dolphins have a quarterback. But
he's better than Tua.
I think he's better than Tua.
Tua beat him out at Alabama in head-to-head competition. Anyways.
He got lucky.
They took him out. He hadn't played all season. In the most crucial time of the biggest game, they pulled Hurts out, put Tua in. That's what happened. In the second half of the national championship game, the guy hadn't played all season. They took out Hurts and put Tua in. That's what happened. And won the game. We'll see how Tua does with a full slate of healthy wide receivers, not with Devonta Parker. He's gone to sit on the Patriots injured list this season. It's like they have the trainer's already got a Patriots boot for him. Anyways, Mills, you missed our NBA segment. Do you have anything to say about today's NBA action? I know you're a big NBA guy.
Yeah, man. I'm actually a little bit on the opposite side on that Pelicans game. I'm going to be looking at the Phoenix Suns in that game. I actually think they should be able to cover the spread. Spread is only like -1.5, -2 right now. When it comes down to it, they're just a better defensive team, better overall team. You're not gonna get a money line price like this either. If you guys want to play a money line, this might be the game right now. You got the #1 team playing the #9 seed. Next round, next division, it's gonna be a lot tougher. So if you guys are trying to play those money line, straight plays, that might be a play that you might want to attack right there. I mean, it's -140, but I actually think they're gonna cover. So I would take a -2. A prop that I really like. I'm going to be going on over to the East Coast. I'm going to be going to the Milwaukee Bucks versus Chicago Bulls. Giannis over 13.5 rebounds right now. It's at plus money on your books around there. Shop around for the best line. That's something that I really like a lot. And then last but not least, how can I not be? CJ McCollum over 4.5 rebounds. The last 3 times I played that prop, it's been on top. So appreciate everybody out there buying the packages, and you get that player prop that's included with it because we've been cashing on CJ McCollum.
All right. What do you have for sale today?
I got 2 plays up there. So I got one in the NBA and I got one in the baseball. The baseball play that I got is going to be kicking off at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Then I got one play in the association that's going to be kicking off at 6:30 p.m. It's not the one that I just talked about. So, hey, you definitely want to get on with it. I got 2 plays up there. You could take my 3-day pass as well, or else you can even get me long-term and get the 7-day weekly pass as well.
So you like CJ, but you don't like the Pelicans.
Yes, correct.
So CJ over or under 25.5 points has come in 60% of the time. The rebounds, the over 4.5 rebounds has come in over 60%. It's come in 60% of the time, but it's minus 159 on that. The over on assists, 80% of the time, but minus 134 on that. 3-pointers, over 2.5 for CJ. But minus 159 though. Yeah, that's a hefty price on that. And then points, rebounds, and assists. It's been under. This could be the value play here. Under 36.5. It's hit 60% of the time.
Yeah,
I love these betting tools that spit out all this information. You can look at those odds. These aren't actually for me. Most of these are there's better ones out here. Actually, the rebounds, the under 4.5 hits 70% of the time, and you're getting plus 125 on your money on CJ. I like that. 70% of the time in the last 10 games, and you're getting plus 125. That's like the Harden rebound prop yesterday. It's exactly the same one, except you're getting a better payout. I don't know. I love the props. I love the prop tool. I never was a prop guy because I'm not really a fantasy guy. But now with the player props, with the tools, they make it easy.
Yeah, see, so one thing about the player prop market, I've been doing it now for like 2 years. The books are barely catching on to it right now with the actual points where they're supposed to be at and stuff. So you guys definitely want to get on top of it right now because the books are still adjusting to it. So you guys could definitely get some good numbers out there.
So when we look at the tools, right, and we look at some of these player props, I'm showing like I set it at 80% on here, and I can see a bunch of player props in the last 5 games that have hit 100%. And then when I'm looking at these 80%ers, I mean, they just run off the page how many of these 80 and 90%ers in the last 10 games. So Green on Denver, under in 3-pointers. But so those at the bottom aren't as high payers, but some of these are like super value. So Zach LaVine, 3-pointers, under 2.5, plus 105. It's hit 80% of the time. You're getting better than even money on that, even though it hits 80%. That is a good bet. I mean, not all these are going to hit, but it's like at least you start off on the right side of it. Highland for Denver, over 2.5 assists in the Denver Golden State game. 80% of the time he has more than 2.5 assists, and you're getting plus 105 on that, on an 80% bet. That's really good. Chris Paul, here's yours, Al Ninos. Under 1.5 3-pointers for Chris Paul, plus 110. That's your...
Yeah, not too bad. The only concern for me there is that Booker's not on the court, so he might attempt a few more. But yeah, I don't mind it.
So here's the 100%er. 10 out of the last 10 games. Poole, points, rebounds, and assists over 30.5 is hit 100% of the time the last 10 games. Only minus 113 at Bet Rivers. That's really good odds on a bet.
See, that's something to like clip right there, post it, and tweet it. 100% right there. That's a nice one.
I put these in the newsletter. No one even paid attention. I put that James Harden one in the newsletter yesterday. No one even emailed me back and said, yeah, we nailed that one. Not one person. And, I mean, 60,000 people read it. It's like, right? Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. We give out free money, free picks, and, they don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, here's Zach LaVine, the under 2.5 on the 3-pointers. Al Ninos, it's whatever you're doing right now. That's what's making that noise.
That wasn't me. I was muted there.
No, it was definitely you.
I just unmuted myself to say this.
All right. Unbelievable. All right.
Yeah.
Not sure what it is then. Anyway, Zach Levine, under 2.5 3-pointers, plus 105. It hits 80% of the time. I don't know. Just me. Yeah, there's some really good ones here. The Joker, over 52.5 points, rebounds, and assists, hits 80% of the time, and it's about even money. I mean, the betting tools just kind of show you. Do you use the betting tools on your props, Mills? You've been doing them for
I look at them to cross-reference just to see exactly what the percentages are that they have them at. So I do.
All right. Well, we have player prop parlays as well now on our parlay builder. So another feature that we added. So I'm going to be doing a prop show as well as a betting tool show. I got to do these every day and start getting it, because I think the betting tools, as we're building them out, they are getting a little bit more complicated, but that's in a good way, because it's not complicated in that they're difficult to use. It's just complicated because there's so much information there. And I think if we can get our arms around it, it's going to get people on a lot more winners, just to show them where to find this value on the betting tools. So we'll do a betting tool show. I was doing it every day. It's just finding the time in the schedule of the shows is really the hard part of that. And then the betting tool show, and then just a prop show is something I really want to do. And that I could have different guests every day on. I know Romanelli wants to do it, but we're thinking about doing that on a different platform, the prop shows. But we'll start them here on YouTube, and then we'll probably move them.
PropDawgz.
PropDawgz. Good one. All right. Well, anyone have any parlays or props that they want to give out on today's show as we wrap it up here?
I got a parlay here. Take the Baltimore Orioles plus the 1.5, the crappy Chicago White Sox on the money line, and mix them in with the Chicago Bulls plus the points.
Your Chicago Bulls. Al Ninos, any props, parlays?
Let's go A's, White Sox, Cardinals. Or Giants. Yeah, Cardinals. More value, I guess.
How about you, Jovan?
Guardians, Orioles, Brewers.
Oh, Brewers.
All plus money. 3 teams.
Mills?
I usually don't do this, but hey, man, let's go ahead and bet on the two teams that I like today. Actually, my two teams, man. Take the Atlanta Braves money line. Take the New York Yankees money line. Parlay on both. That's plus 166 on your books out there. 2-team parlay.
Bryant?
Already went.
All right. So it's me? All right. I just used the best parlay tool is all I did. And this is what came up as the default. And I'll show you guys what it is. It is Brad Marchand to score the first goal at plus 850, with Charlie Blackmon to hit a home run at plus 575. Wander Franco to hit a home run at plus 480. He's had two of them the other night. And then Draymond Green to record a double-double. That's plus 350. $10 pays $16,736.63. So I would say it's worth the $10. If you hit, definitely I would say if you're going to bet right there, the one that I gave out, you're going to want to use a regular book, an onshore, one of the books that we have recommended here, or Bet Rivers, where we put the odds from. We're going to also be adding DraftKings this week as to our odds on the props and everything. It's also going to have a lot more.
Nice.
It's also going to have a lot more prop bets because of DraftKings has a lot more different props. We're going to continue to add books with the props. DraftKings and FanDuel will be after that, and this way we'll have even more props available for everybody. But if you're going to bet a bet like this, and I can tell you from experience, make sure it's with one of these U.S. facing books, because those other guys, they may or may not pay you. It's like, I've hit bets like this before, and I got to tell you, the payout system, not always the best. But if you're with a U.S. book, they will pay you. You will get paid.
You think you'll get any thank you emails if anyone hits that parlay?
Nope. Nope. Only if it loses, that's the only way you get any response. No one ever says on a good winner. Unless it's like something like this you might, but it's normally on if you lose. Like, and it's like, so Ruffalo, I think, had the Pirates yesterday in his video. So it's like they lost 21-0. So it's like he'll get hammered on that. But meanwhile, I gave out the Orioles on the premium YouTube the last 2 days. No one said a word.
That's usually how it goes, Usually how it goes.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Anyways, this is a good long show today. We covered a lot of ground. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Mills, what's the next MMA card you got coming up?
Next MMA card is going to be coming out next week. It's going to be Rob Font versus Cheeto Vera. You got 14 fights going to be on that card, so you guys definitely want to pay attention and tune in to the show on Wednesday. That card is going to be kicking off a little bit early next week on Saturday as well, so it's going to be kicking off around 2 p.m. Pacific time, so early card next week.
Why is that? Where it's at?
This one's actually in the Apex. So usually when they do stuff like that, it has to do something with like ESPN's channeling program. So maybe something's going on that Saturday. Probably basketball and stuff like that.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Make it a winning day. And like I said, we give out tons of free picks every day. We do it, here in our live shows, YouTube. We all do, YouTube here. We all, so we do it here on, across social media and live. YouTube, PickDawgz.com, SportsChatPlace.com, the betting tools, tons and tons and tons of free picks every day. But, when you give out that many free picks, definitely going to be some games that you like more than others. And to find out what those are, head on over to our website, PickDawgz.com. Click on that Premium Picks tab. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to try like crazy to act more